Welcome to Northworthy Sagas and Stories. Good day to you all. Welcome once more to Northworthy Sagas and Stories. As ever, I am your host, Tyrkir Thorsson. Please keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button. This is another tale from Ynglinga Saga, written by Snorri Sturluson. And it's another episode in the chronology of the kings of ancient Sweden and Norway, descended from Frey, the god otherwise known as Yngvi. We've already heard of the son of Yngvi Frey, Fjolnir, and his fascination for the sweet honeyed drink called mead, which sadly was his doom in the end. And also, we've heard of Svegdi, his offspring, the king who was of a more philosophical inclination, who wished to journey to the land of the gods, but finally met his end by supernatural arts. If you haven't heard the tales of Fjolnir and Svegdi, please click on the card. This, however, is the next episode in Ynglinga Saga, the story of Vanlande Swegdesson. Now, Vanlande, unlike his father, well, he preferred action to philosophy. He was a great warrior, a war leader. Many a time he led his martial hosts to war, with the raven banner fluttering overhead. He took them out on great campaigns of conquest, expanding the sphere of the Swedish dominions, and the mead benches shook with approval as his men heard the glorious tales of his victories. Nevertheless, Vanlande was also known to travel abroad in peace rather than war, as many kings do, meeting with other rulers in distant realms, and also travelling the broad Middle-earth to expand his horizons and broaden his mind. And on one such occasion, he came to the country known as Finland, the land of 1,000 lakes, and there Vanlande spent time with Snei the Old, a famous chieftain whose name means snow. And he was well entertained, well fed, and provided with the finest of drink. However, the greatest luxury there was the company of Snei's daughter, Drifa, whose name means snowdrift. She was a handsome girl, pleasant company, and most charming. And very soon, Vanlande became enamoured of her. And so it was, he completely lost track of time. The seasons went by, one was replaced by another. And so it was, eventually, such was their love for each other, that Drifa provided Vanlande with a strong, healthy baby boy, whom they named Visber. Nevertheless, there came a time, one spring, when Vanlande's nostrils caught the scent of the salt sea air borne upon the wind from the waters of the blue Baltic Sea, and he knew he had to set out again riding the wave crests in his serpent-prowed ship, to return home, back to Uppsala, realm of the Swedish people. And he did that. He promised, before he went, he made a solemn vow to Drifa that he would return in 3 years' time to be reunited with her and their son. And so he returned home. But very soon as he'd set foot on Swedish soil, he became taken up with all of the matters requiring his attention. Affairs of statesmanship, negotiating with other kings, and defending the borders of his realm, meeting with his assembly of advisors. And so, in time, he began to forget his love for Drifa and the child they'd had between them. And 3 years went by, then another, and even more. And it wasn't until 10 years had passed that finally he remembered his promise. And once more he set out for Finland. And he arrived at the home of Snei the Old. But when he got there, the reception was a cool one. There was no warm welcome for him this time, because Drifa had realised that Vanlande, well, he was a shirker of his responsibilities as a parent. And she knew Vanlande had no desire to take their son Visber back home and allow him his proper place and status as a prince of the realm in Sweden. Very quickly, Vanlande made his excuses and set off back home. But Drifa, she was a strong-minded girl. She wouldn't be put off, and she resolved to use any means necessary to make the king live up to his word. And so she sent word to the witch wife Hold, daughter of the shamaness Grimhild, a magic worker and spellcaster with a fearsome reputation all of her own. And Drifa told Hold to do one of two things: either to use her arcane arts to set an enchantment upon Vanlande that would induce him to return to Finland and be hers forevermore, or, if this failed to work, to kill him and remove him from the Middle Earth altogether. And so Hold began weaving her spells. And, well, back in Sweden, the king found one day that all of a sudden, for no accountable reason at all, an inexplicable desire came upon him to return to the land of Finns, to go back to Snei and his daughter Drifa. And he'd ordered a ship to be made ready for him to set out on his voyage. But, luckily for him, his advisors interceded, for they could see that it was the witch work of Finnish making that was persuading the king to leave his kingdom. And between them, they restrained him until the magic had lost its effect. Vanlande once more stayed at home. But now, Hold began her second set of spells. King Vanlande was at home one night, there in his hall in Uppsala, lying in his bed, when he saw seeping through the planks of his oaken door, a strange mist that began to solidify and became a tiny figure which very quickly grew in size and took upon the aspect of a hideous hag, a terrifying crone. For a moment, the image wavered, became that of a beautiful woman. Then it turned misty once more. Now it had the image of a great black horse, a mare. And this is a demon that comes upon sleepers in the night. And it's for this reason, to this day, that a bad dream is named after this creature, the Nightmare. And the horse advanced upon Svegdi. And even though he saw it coming, he was powerless to cry out or to resist, because his body was paralyzed. It was as if he lay in a waking dream, unable to move a muscle, while the horror came towards him. But finally, he summoned the strength to cry out as the horse was pressing down upon him, upon his chest, squeezing the breath out of him, starting to twist the heart beneath his ribs. He yelled, "The Mara! The mare is riding upon me!" And so it was, all his servants and retainers rushed to his aid. They saw nothing but the king lying in his bed, face contorted by terror. But when they took hold of his legs and pulled upon them, they felt a great weight pressing on the top half of the king's body. They tried again, pulling at his shoulders, but now the weight shifted to his legs. Once more they pulled upon his feet, desperate to save the king's life. But now the weight pressed completely upon the king's head and face. And that was the end of him. With a final shuddering groan, his last breath left him. And with sad and heavy hearts, his subjects, they took the king to the edge of a river called Skytar, burnt Vanlande's body upon a funeral pyre, built a mound for him, and carved a stone inscribed with runes telling of his prowess as a king and as a warrior. And he was mourned by the people of Sweden forevermore. But for now, that's the end of the story. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Twitter. Thank you.